Welcome back to another episode of the 4F Entrepreneur Podcast. Thank you for joining us today. Today we are with Mr. Tony Parker, real estate investor, businessman, and overall great man. We're just going to be asking him some questions on how you came up and just different success tips for the young folks out there. So first thing, Tony, what was your first real estate transaction? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So, going back in time,
Mm-hmm.
it was when I was my journey really started at 21.
Mm-hmm.
So, prior to that, I was just in the field of, work and trying to figure things out really.
Yeah.
So a chance meeting of my mentor at the age of 21, he kind of opened my mind up to opportunities that I had in real estate.
Yeah.
So from 21, I began to educate myself on real estate, business, finances, just anything I could get for free, and even paying for it at sometimes. Because we pay for traditional education. Why not invest in our business education too?
100%.
So the first deal was me testing the theory out on myself.
Yeah.
I was young, I was getting engaged, and my wife's like, "Hey, we need to buy a house."
Yeah.
Well, my fiance at the time, we need to buy a house. We need to buy a house. So I'm like, okay, hey, I'm saving this for I need to buy a duplex instead of me buying like my personal home and trying to do like a house hack and stuff like that. But I'm like, okay. She finally wore me down. So I was like, okay, let me try.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting approved. I got approved for $250 back then.
Nice.
But I was working 2 jobs at the time. So I knew, I was like, okay, if I stop working the second job, I'm gonna really struggle with that $250,000 payment.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went out house hunting and stuff like that. The first agent we ended up firing because we felt like she was just trying to push us into something and just get paid.
Wow.
Yep. So we let her go.
Yeah. Do you see that a lot in the industry sometimes?
Not as much, but people can really feel like if you really care about them.
Good. Yeah.
And that's a big part of our success. People know we truly kind of care.
Yeah.
About what their goal is, what they're trying to obtain.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh yeah. So I got with a younger gentleman, really kind of into investing. Kira went to school with him, and I actually knew him from a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
But the good thing about him is he listened to me, and what our goals were, what we were trying to obtain. So when we went out looking this particular day, we went to look at a house in Harvest, and it was around 102. And we walked in, fresh paint, granite countertops, light was on. Yeah, it was like investors. I could tell it was a flip.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, this is good for a first time home, and it's under my budget.
Yeah.
So I walked out. I was like, hey, maybe I'll put an offer in on that. And I seen a sign across the street where I said, well, what about that house?
Yeah.
And he looked it up. He said, that house is 63 and it's a short sale. So I said, can we check out that one?
Yeah.
So when we walked in it, no AC. And also it had a microwave missing, and at that time I'm not really knowing about construction. You would think hey, somebody punched a hole in the wall, or they just ripped the microwave out, but it was just really, they took it with them when they left. The floors, it had laminate floors, and with it being closed up, the laminate floor started to push up a little bit, making it look like, hey, what's going on with this house? But as soon as I seen it, I knew it was it.
Yeah.
So we put in an offer on that, and we ended up getting it we went in at 61.
Okay.
And they ended up allowing us to get it pushed through for 64. But this particular home, it did not happen quick. A short sale actually takes around 6 to 9 months. It can even take even longer.
In a short sale, what exactly is that again?
So it's where the bank allows you, instead of foreclosing, the bank agrees for you to sell it for a less price, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the good thing about this one is, we picked it up at the right time, and it was also mentally an investment. I never had any intentions of saying hey, it's my forever home. It was a calculated move.
Yeah.
And it was just, for me, even I lacked the business sense and knowledge of real estate, my common sense kicked in.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at, okay, this house is 102.
Yeah.
It's no way it's going to take me, 30 or 40,000 to do the same thing to this house.
Yeah. Right.
So that was a common sense type move.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had been out like, oh man, I gotta spend this whole 250, I gotta be living like, a king.
Yeah.
When I'm gonna sell this home, this is just a stepping stone.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it was utilized as that, and that's how I did my first deal.
Yeah. Man, that is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so like pretty much you saw the value in that house and you're thinking, okay, I can make this house just as valuable as the one I was about to overpay for.
Correct. It's definitely a value add. And like that same particular house. So that same house, we lived in it for a year.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up renting it for a year, and I was cash flowing around $550 a month.
Wow.
Which is really good back then.
Yeah.
Yep. And then it got to a point to where like I started to build up rentals, me and Kira together actually. And we were both making low wages at the time. So at that time, I didn't know anybody saying like, hey, DSCR is here for you, or like, hey, you should try doing this. So I just felt stuck. Because the goal was always to acquire as many rental properties so you can retire. But they capped me out because we made low wages. They're looking at us like, if any of these tenants leave, how you gonna pay? So I understood it. So me and Kira kind of strategized and talked about it, and she was like, maybe we should flip one of these properties or sell it. So it's like, nah, we don't need to sell the property and stuff like that. That's going against what we're trying to do. And then I didn't just be closed. I just wasn't closed-minded. I went and actually looked at the numbers and said, you're right. So then I calculated all the numbers. We ended up flipping that house and making $42,000.
Wow.
On our first deal.
Goodness gracious. On the strategy to reduce your housing expense, my favorite strategy for this is something called house hacking. If you are a person that values comfort over anything else and you don't really care about getting rich, go ahead and skip this video. This strategy is not for you. If you want to save money and you want to have someone else pay off your mortgage, listen to this. House hacking is where you rent out a portion of your house and you have other people pay down your mortgage. Let that say that be $2,000 a month. You take that $2,000 a month and you invest it, and then you use that to buy more property. That is house hacking. It is the best way to have financial freedom as a young person and to get your foot in the door with real estate. On the very first, and what year was this?
This was, we got married in 2013.
2013.
So probably 2015.
Okay. And the market was going up a good bit.
It was. It was like, we seen like, stores come, Publix, more restaurants, all that played a factor in that, being able to sell it for a profit. And man, just been rolling ever since.
Yeah. And then after that, did you just focus on getting long-term rentals, or what kind of strategy did you take?
So strategy wise, that year we still had other properties. So what I did with those is I flipped those two. I was just like, hey, let me get this profit and stuff like that. So that next year we took a year off to see like what we could do as agents in real estate.
Nice.
So this was around 2017. So we wanted to focus on selling real estate. And then that ended up being very successful in 2017. First 6 months, we didn't do any deals. The next 6 months, we did 22 transactions in 6 months.
What? In 6?
Yep, in 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, we see that what we're capable of.
Yeah, right.
So like, let's keep moving. Let's keep selling real estate. Let's keep flipping and investing and stuff like that. The Airbnbs hit, we in that market. So we just dibbling and dabbling in a lot of different things. But one of the pluses that I do say that sets us apart from other agents is we were investors first. Yep. So we've been investing over 12 years actively, and licensed as agent 7. So that does play a big part. We know that the money that we are making in real estate, it needs to be, invested in hard assets, tangible things. So that's been our focus ever since then.
I've noticed that y'all were investor focused whenever I started working with y'all, like first right off the bat. We bought our first one in March last year. And before that, though, we had worked with a couple of other agents, and they seemed annoyed that we were going and looking at a bunch of properties. It's like they almost just like, come on and buy something already.
Yeah.
But like, you know, Asa, he showed us like 7 proproperties in one day.
Oh yeah.
You know, like nonchalant, chill the whole time.
Asa Sharp, man.
Yeah.
We gotta get him on here next. But
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But Asa, man, I'm real proud of like what he's accomplished. But he's a shark, man.
Yeah.
He his first deal was a triplex.
Yeah.
So he has like the first deal that they say like you want to start off with. So man, he understands it, man. So it's good to work with people who understand your goals and what you're really trying to do. Yep. And that was a plus when I was working with the gentleman. I even said his name. His name is Jonathan Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, Jonathan Hall. He was a licensed agent at Kier Real Estate back then.
Okay. Yeah.
And he had a 4-unit on Accent Trail at the time.
Yep.
So back then, those were going for anywhere from 40 to 60K.
Wow. They're like 420 right now.
Easy.
Wow.
Easy.
That's what, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
So he understood the goal and he understood like what we were trying to accomplish. So like he was excellent to work with. You know, and I'm sure if he had a first time home buyer, he would have knew like the same way, but he could like switch up and like help you in that capacity. He never said like, nah, I think you should get this property, you know, that property. But he actually helped me, and I want to thank you, John. Thank you, Jonathan.
Shout out, Jonathan.
Oh yeah,
for sure. So, do you want to ask maybe a question about like success tips or anything?
Yeah. So to do all this, what was your mindset like? Like, how did your mindset improve over this whole journey through building this real estate empire and everything like that?
I'll be honest, man. I like to talk about this from like the standpoint of like, okay, when you see you are taking risks, and everything is a risk.
Facts.
This was
That's a big thing.
this was a calculated risk, but this was one that I could not afford to take.
What if I could show you a way to leave your 9 to 5? It sounds crazy, I know. Listen, Internet Money University, in there I'm teaching 8 modern wealth creation methods. I'm teaching you how to build your credit to get funding. I'm teaching you how to start up a business. I'm teaching you how to resell, teach you how to use AI. All these things can be used online to make you $10,000 a month. For $50 a month, you get access to an insane amount of value, and you're getting courses on all of this by getting Internet Money University. Join Internet Money University today at internetmoneyuniversity.net.
And what I mean by that is I could have took the safe route. Shout out to Huntsville Hospital, all my people. Right. But I worked there 12 years.
Oh, wow.
And 12 years. And even shout out to Cheeseburger. They're no longer in business. But yeah. I was a kitchen manager there around like 7 years.
It's all part of the journey.
Oh yeah. So in order to like make a decent income, I had to carry 2 jobs for most of my life.
Right.
I had to do like multiple things. It was times where I remember working like 32 hours. Now that wasn't consistently, but in a different type of situation, somebody don't show up.
Yeah.
You gotta make it do what it do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that same work ethic, I said like, hey, when I'm going into business for myself, I want to give myself that same respect.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's where it came from. Like, I used to have to wear a uniform every day.
Oh yeah, of course.
My suit is my uniform.
Yeah. Suit is your uniform.
Like, you know, and I could have laid in the bed till 10. Actually, when I went full time in real estate, 2 days in a row, I slept at 10. But I was used to being up at 4:15. So I'm like, okay. In my head, that voice woke up and said, "Tony, you can't provide for your family like this.
Right.
Get your ass up."
That's it right there. That's it.
Yeah. So I got up, man, and that's what it's been ever since. Showing up for myself, giving myself the same respect. I'm Mr. Perfect Attendance. I was perfect attendance for years. Yeah. So I gotta have perfect attendance for myself. Yeah. Oh,
yeah, that's the main thing, showing up for yourself. I think a lot of entrepreneurs have that problem with a new entrepreneur that's trying to get into it. They have a hard time just showing up.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like if y'all are new entrepreneurs and y'all are watching this video, make sure y'all start showing up. Get up on time. You know, that's a big thing, because y'all know y'all being an entrepreneur, that controls your whole business is determined by you. So depending on how you decide to live your life, that's how your business is gonna go. So if you get up on time and you do what you gotta do and handle your business every day, you'll see a lot of success in that.
I want to add something real quick. I will say, so if you're up past 10 p.m., usually you're not doing something productive.
Right.
It's like if you're up before 7, usually you are doing something. Right. So if you can be asleep by 10, get up by 5, man, you're subtracting the unproductive times and you're adding to the productive times. So that's just simple math right there.
Yeah,
you're getting strategy right there. You're adding 2 more hours every day. Let's say from going from 7 to 5, and it don't have to be drastic. You can get up 10 minutes earlier one week. The next week, maybe try 15 minutes earlier. And then next thing you know, you're getting up at 5 a.m. Like these high performers, like yourself, like y'all don't just wake up one day after just a life of like not being the most disciplined, because nobody's disciplined to start off, and go, oh, I'm just going to start getting up at 5 a.m. every day and hitting the gym. You got to take these slow increments and work yourself there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. Like, it's even like safeguards that I put in place in my life just because, like, to encourage discipline. So you got to know yourself as a person, and we're all human. We all know like our habits and stuff like that. So like, take some of these tips from like the high performance entrepreneurs, you know, what they're doing, you know, reading more books,
you know,
audio books, education, investing in that, you know, getting out, networking. But yeah, that's like a big thing, as in like investor wise, you want to be looking at, or just even as a business owner starting a business.
Okay. And maybe a couple tips for people that are in the 9 to 5 that want to start a business but they're scared. Do you have any pointers, like maybe what you could go tell your young self whenever you were you scared to make that transition? Or?
Honestly, I'm gonna tell the story right now because it's actually a good story. Okay, so it was just a lot of stuff going on around me, but not really like affecting me. So I remember like I'm always a positive person and stuff like that, but what was going around and how others were feeling was starting to affect me. So it started to make me negative, sad, depressed, that type of thing. So I said to myself, I'm like, okay, like something has to give. But you know, I prayed about it, and then I remember waking up at night, like an infomercial just came on out the blue. And it was actually Dave Ramsey, you know, but I took it as a sign. So he said, if you don't respect the organization that you're working for, what does that say about you to stay?
You don't respect yourself.
You don't respect yourself.
Yes, correct. So integrity wise, when I heard that, I couldn't be a part of it anymore. So that's when I made the decision to, you know, go ahead and retire from like working for places. And what I did is the funny part of the story is I actually went to Kira. And I went to talk to her about it, because you know when you married, you can't make no move by yourself. That's how the game goes. If you want to stay, yeah, you gotta talk about it. But so we talked about it, and I told her, I was like, hey, you know, I feel like I got my sign. I'm ready to leave. So I'm knowing she gonna say no. Like I'm thinking she gonna say, get your butt back in there and go to work. Yeah. Man, she didn't. Wow. She said, I support you. So like me as a man, I'm like, okay, I can't lie. I got to do it. I got to make it happen.
You got to make it happen at that point.
It happen. So like I stood on business, you know, after that, just because like her support encouraged me more. But if she had said no, I would have been back in there working.
Since we just was talking about starting a business, in Internet Money University, I just dropped the business startup campus. In there, I'm teaching you how to completely start a business from the ground up. I'm teaching you how to first choose a great business name. Choose a name that's not a high-risk name. I'll teach you how to start an LLC. I'll teach you how to get funding. I'll teach you how to get your business bank account and all that stuff. So if y'all interested in starting a business just like Tony did, join Internet Money University. Go to internetmoneyuniversity.net.
You know, so like we got to keep all these things and know that while you're in it, it may not feel good, but it's all meant to like serve a purpose later on. You just got to get through it to see what it'll be in the future. But if she had said no, I may not be sitting here today.
A supportive wife is more. What do they say in the Bible? A good wife is more valuable than silver and gold.
Oh yeah,
that's so true.
Oh yeah,
like you pick your wife, you pick your life.
Oh yeah,
you know, because if you got a hard charger and that has the best idea XYZ, and their wife or their husband, their significant other, just dragging them down, man, it's gonna be so difficult for that person. But like Mackenzie, same way for me. Whenever I told her I was leaving my 9 to 5 to do my own business ventures, she's totally supportive.
Right.
Like Mackenzie's the type of person that I could be like, hey babe, I think I'm gonna be the best McDonald's manager ever, and I could go work at McDonald's. She's going to root for me.
Oh,
Yeah, no matter what.
That's
like,
what you want. That's what you want,
yeah.
man.
So yeah, a supportive partner is just so valuable.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it helped me out too. My wife is a beautiful person inside and out, and the big thing about me is I want to provide a certain lifestyle,
right?
Stuff like that. And where I was working, I was doing well and stuff like that, but I had to combine it with so many things and so much like efforts, physical efforts, and I mean, I would have kept it up if I had to. But like at the end of the day, it becomes a point where you have to mentally say, like, if I want to retire one day and not be like in pain, or just having to retire just to go back to work.
Just to go back to work. That's real.
So I have to be making like smart moves.
Right.
So that's the reason why I say I could not afford to do what I did.
I like that. Yeah. Oh, you got something? I was gonna say, I know for me, like sometimes I look at my hard work as like an expression of love, honestly.
Right.
Because Mackenzie, she's very humble and she doesn't need a whole lot. But of course we all want nice things and we all want comfort.
Oh, yeah.
Woman wants to be comfortable a lot more.
It's in the Bible. God wants you to have nice things.
It does.
He wants you to live abundantly.
100%. Yeah. To have life and have it more abundantly.
Oh yeah.
So for me, like whenever I'm grinding, I'm working hard and everything, sometimes I feel guilty, like, oh, I should be spending more time with family. Oh, I should be taking it easy, or I should be X, Y, and Z. And it's like, she makes me feel better by supporting me and thanking me for my hard work.
Oh yeah.
Which is something that's huge. Like, thank your partner for their hard work.
Oh yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people that'll get mad at their spouse for working hard and they'll feel neglected or whatever. But it's like, if you pick the right spouse, you know why they're working hard.
Right.
Like Mackenzie knows I'm not stacking money in the bank just so I can go flex.
Yeah.
She knows it's for our future family.
Yeah.
So
and that's what it's about, man. Like, you got to be doing the right thing with it, and also like the partnership that you have, it helps you grow even more. When you're in a bad partnership in business, relationships, everything, it keeps your mind in a circle. We've all can say like we've been dating before, and we with somebody, we like, man, what they doing right now? Yeah. If you ain't got to worry about that, man, like you can really focus on growing and scaling, together.
Not wasting your time with a bunch of girls.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, you kind of just like really locked in on that decision pretty recently.
Yeah, I locked in on that decision pretty recently.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It just makes your life easier, and it's just like your growth. It just goes way up because you don't have to worry about all that extra stuff. It's a lot of it's a lot to manage. Like I said, if you're already trying to work on your business and work on yourself, then you got to manage that on top of that. You don't have enough time to be managing all this. So like I said, that's one of the best decisions I did. It just started to just be with one person and just lock in. It just my growth has really been exceeding.
That's how we're made, to be with one person.
Right. That's how we're made. Like we go at the biblical times. That's what you're supposed to do. It's just people try to mess that up.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you about, like, as far as I was a real estate agent myself, so I want to ask for the people out here that are trying to get into real estate and trying to become an agent and stuff like that. What should they expect and all that, and how is the journey of just building up? Because I hear a lot of people don't make money in the first 6 to 12 months, and then they start picking up. Like you said, you had that story as well in which you started selling.
Right.
So I want you to get some advice on that and drop some gems on that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I think like what people get into it for plays a big factor. So I didn't really get into it from the aspect of saying like, hey, I want to make money and stuff like that. It was more so a friend of mine, Mr. Wiley Day. He ate lunch, man, with me one day, and then we just went about our business, and then he called me back, me and Kira back for like a second lunch. And he said like, for some reason, like God's telling me you need to go to like real estate school. And it really came from us speaking a lot about like real estate and how it could impact people, how it can help people. When I was working alongside like my peers and stuff like that, I was letting them know like, hey, did you know you could buy a house for your family for the same amount you're renting for? Even when I had nothing to financially gain from it, I was like sharing that information. So the thing about it is, I feel blessed to like know all the information I've compiled over the years,
Right.
and I want to share it.
Yeah.
And how better to share it with like, you know, people that you care about, people that you can impact, you know, your community and things like that. So the portion of us that caused the success was we led with education.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we led with education. We didn't look at it and say like, oh, if I sell 100 homes, I'll make this amount, and then I can do this with it.
Yeah.
It was more so like, how can we provide value?
Yeah, and that seemed pretty good to do it like that, like doing it from a position of trying to provide value to people instead of just trying to sell a whole bunch of homes and make a whole lot of money, because people pick that up off of you.
They
They
do.
pick it up if you're trying to just like be out here just trying to grab money up and
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
because you won't be really paying attention to them and all that kind of stuff. You're actually trying to educate them and change their life by getting them a home, which is something that like, that's one big purchase, like honestly. So yeah, if you're doing, yeah, it's a real big deal. So if you're doing that, like, and coming from like an educational standpoint, that's really good.
Yeah, yeah. And like new agents, I'll say like, you know, educate yourself on the craft. Um, that is a plus, because I got a little saying, I know a little bit about a lot. And that does help me in like situations where we have like a certain type of client in a situation. We know who to say like, hey, give them a call, you know, type of things. But that doesn't come overnight. But still, like, once you pay your dues in real estate, every situation that you go through in real estate, you're supposed to learn a lesson from it. And once you learn that lesson, you're supposed to continue to get better and get better. So that's what began to happen. So within like that first 6 months, just us tweaking, we actually were having like business meetings in our bed at night. It's like,
Okay.
what's going on?
Yeah, what's
Like,
going
why are we
on?
not
Yeah.
closing these
Yeah.
deals? But the second 6 months, once we pinpointed what was going on in our business that was wrong, we corrected that, and we continue to tweak over the years. It'll never be like consistent. The market is never always the same.
Yeah.
So you have to like learn the market, understand the market. Even now with like rates going down, it's gonna be wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah, it's gonna
wild.
be wow. Yes, the demand will be like wow, but people like this taking advantage of it, like, and understand the market. Like, even as a new agent, you're able to like capitalize on it and help more people, because you're like, hey, let me show you why you need to buy right now.
Yeah.
Which I still recommend buying right now. It's a great time.
Yeah.
Because you're buying undervalued. You know, even my house, one of my personal homes that I bought for a great deal, it's went down in value about 50K.
Okay.
But 50K in a down market, let's see what it'll do in an up market. It's gonna be in the sixes.
Yeah. Y'all bought it in the twos, right? Or the threes?
314.
314. What? 2-3 years ago?
4
years ago. Yeah,
and it was strategically purchased.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't saying like, hey, let's just go out and like buy a home today. I looked at like the price per square. I looked at like the area, all those details, and you know, it's done its job. You know, you buy right, you can't lose.
Yeah. Buy strategically. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, you got any other questions that you want to ask Rashid? Or? Awesome. Well, where can people find more about you, Tony?
Man, I dropped some IG links, and I dropped my Facebook link also in the bio.
Perfect.
But man, I'm at Parkway Place Mall.
Yep.
The Parker team, brokered by Mid City Real Estate. Man, and we love the opportunity to serve you guys.
Yeah. And if y'all need a home, seriously, they have helped me with my real estate purchases. Excellent service. Like, we walked through a first client today, and they literally broke down all of the closing costs, what you'll need. They get you set up with a home warranty. Like, this ain't a promo, but I'm telling y'all will be for real happy. Like, if y'all go with Mid City, especially Tony and the team.
Oh,
But yeah. Peace out, y'all. It was good seeing y'all. Y'all take it easy.
All right, much love.